Hey, Mike, we're going to start in a moment. What's up, Mike? We got two mics in the room. All right, starting up in a minute. Countdown. All right. What is up, everybody? How are you doing? It is the Music News Newsread Hour. I'm just going to keep on coming up with names and everything. We're going to get officially going in just a moment. I want to say hi to everyone in... we are multi-streaming, so just to give you an idea where we are right now, Music Industry City's Facebook page, Facebook group, my personal Twitch channel. If my audio is clipping, just raise your hand and let me know, because the Clubhouse, and I see Mike and Mike, so Mike squared. What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm going to start off with the news in just a moment, but I just want to get the levels out, and I see some people. Hey, what's going on, Steve, over in Twitch? I see a few people saying hi, what's up? Just say hi in the comments. Peter Schwing. Okay, so if you go to twitch.tv/Peter Schwing, that's my name, you can find the full live stream. And also Music Industry City on Facebook, YouTube. There's the group, there's the page. So you can, if you want to tune into actually the video live stream of this, it is there. And we're also on Clubhouse. So, and what we're going to do with Clubhouse is how we do this is I'm going to read some of the top articles in the news from the, maybe something we missed, something current, topical. And then what I do is I will be bringing people up from Clubhouse to if you wanted to discuss the topic. So basically we're figuring there's like a few minutes on each topic. I'll read the actual news and cite from the source of, like if it's from music industry worldwide, music business worldwide or something. Hey, what's up, Randy? How you doing? And then the people on Clubhouse can come up. Just want to let you know it is live streamed and recording. I have to state that to clarify. That's a Clubhouse rule. And so therefore, if you don't want to be streamed or recorded, don't raise your hand to speak. That's the only way we can do this. So, but everybody else, if you are watching on the live stream on the video, you can type in the chat. I'm going to be looking at all the chats together and with Clubhouse. So, without further ado, let me kick off here, and we got a few things to cover, and I think you might have seen this, but I also have what I'm going to do is a signal. Here is the new sound, so I'm going to start the news brief. Did that work? Hold on a second. Wait. Did that work? There we go. All right, so the first thing we're starting off with, Jack Dorsey's Square is buying a majority stake in Jay-Z's streaming service Tidal. I think many of us have seen this. This article is from The Verge, theverge.com. And this one is saying it's paying $297 million in a cash and stock deal. So what I do here is I'm going to read, kind of summarize this. I might throw in a couple, opine about something. But if this is a topic you would like to comment on, you want to keep the discussion going, you have thoughts on this, please raise your hand over on Clubhouse, and I will bring you up as soon as I finish up the article. And if there's something you see what's going on, you want to chat about in the live stream, all the video live stream over there, you can do that. So once again, Jack Dorsey, Square buys Tidal. So in the article by The Verge, Square, the financial services company founded by Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, is acquiring a majority stake in Tidal, the high-fidelity audio and video streaming service led by Jay-Z. Square is paying $297 million in cash and a stock for, quote, a significant majority ownership stake. Says Tidal will operate independently alongside Square's other ventures. So, asking the obvious question, they say Dorsey said, quote, why would a music streaming company and a financial services company join forces? His answer was to find, quote, new ways for artists to support their work. Just as Square gave sellers new tools to make money, Dorsey says the company's stake in Tidal will help artists find similar support in the new digital ecosystem. So there's something also I want to chime in is that if you go to Jack's, at Jack over on Twitter, there is a lot of conversation that he made a multiple post, and Andrew Hamp, I got to give a shout out to Andrew Hamp. He brought up this point where it talks about that the original artists, that I think 16 artists that were the founding people, investors in, they got a payout, and it comes out to like 8.9 million or something. So what we're going to continue with the quote from Dorsey is, given that what Square has been able to do for sellers of all sizes and individuals through Cash App, we believe we can now work for artists to see the same success for them and us. Square created ecosystems of tools for sellers and individuals, and will do the same for artists. We'll work entirely new listening experiences to bring fans closer, simple integrations for merch sales, modern collaboration tools, and new complementary revenue streams. So let's just a little history here. Tidal was founded in Norway. I love the Norwegians, so always ahead of the curve with technology. That was back in 2014, and then they were bought the following year for $56 million. So that was in 2015, $56 million. Now the investment from Square is $297 million. You do the math there. So he was the original artist's owner. So it was Coldplay, Rihanna, Daft Punk, and Madonna. That was just some of them. The new owners positioned Tidal in opposition to the big tech streaming services, promising fans high-quality audio and exclusive content. They quickly ran into problems, though, failing to secure exclusive content over the long term attract subscribers to rival the likes of Spotify. In 2017, they secured another $200 million investment from Sprint, which is now merged with T-Mobile. But reports the following year said subscriber growth has stalled. At that time, the service was said to have roughly 3 million paying customers compared to Spotify's 20 million that same year. So, somebody is also asking in Facebook land, is that 8 million per artist factoring the dilution through the previous sale and reduced valuation? I cannot answer that question. This was something it was one of those tweets from, it's Hamp, Hampp, I believe it is. Andrew Hamp is his name. Brilliant person, wonderful person. And if you want to check it out, I just saw he did the screenshot, the tweet and everything. So I don't know if they were factoring dilution, which that is an excellent question. Okay, so back to the article. And again, if anybody in the clubhouse wants to discuss this, raise your hand. I'm bringing this up as I start wrapping this up. Basically they were saying, Tidal was saying, we think the streaming service is an important part of it and is growing and would continue to grow. As a part of the deal, Jay-Z will join Square's board of directors. Quote, I said from the beginning that Tidal was more than just streaming music, and 6 years later, it has remained a platform that supports artists at every point in their careers. Quote, artists deserves better tools to assist them in their creative journey. Jack and I have had many discussions about Tidal's endless possibilities that have made me even more inspired about its future. The shared vision makes me even more excited to join the Square board. This partnership will be a game changer for many. I look forward to all this new chapter has to offer. So does anybody have some thoughts on this? Raise your hand. I'll bring you on up. Also in the chat there. Sandra, if you're registered, I see somebody over in the Facebook. Sandra, if you are registered at musicindustrycity.com, it's a free registration. We give out weekly clubhouse invites. I have a few to give away. You do have to be on an iPhone. So if you register at musicindustrycity.com, you will get that email. So this is really interesting. What's going on. It's going to be a new take, and hopefully this will incorporate some kind of, when you have a financial system that can tie in to a streaming system, hopefully this will be something that can help artists get direct payments, or simplify the payment structure, or offer better payout deals. Can possibly eliminate the middleman in some instances, and perhaps with the future technology, they're already looking at, dare I say, those three letters, NFTs and blockchain and something like that. So this is going to be an interesting thing to watch. Again, if anybody wants to comment on this, just raise your hand. And Sandra is it is. Okay, Randy, let me bring Randy on up here. So here we go. I'm going to switch over to, it's my first test of switching over to the Clubhouse. And Randy, I'm bringing you on up. Just remember, you are being live streamed and recorded. So if you're not cool with that, then just please don't speak. But Randy, come on up and join us. I just clicked you up. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Invite to speak. There we go.
Sorry.
Hey, Randy. Good to see you. Randy, you there? I think we might have lost Randy temporarily. Let's do this. Randy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you back down into the audience, and I'm going to bring you back up. Maybe there's... Oh, there you are.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We were having some technical difficulties on my side.
Okay. Well, modern technology, I mean, we're used to this now. I think last year the phrase of the year is, hey, you're muted. This year it's more like, let me just figure out what's going on. So
yeah.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on this?
I think there's a few other things at play here that most of the media hasn't picked up on, but Dan, I forget how to say his last name, who has the Tidal newsletter, brought up some really interesting points in December that this play may be more about using these artist relationships to grow the Cash App, and that the relationships between hip-hop and the Cash App have been substantial in scaling their growth. So it's an area that not many people are talking about. And when you look at the price they paid for Tidal, while to you or I, $297 million is a lot of money that, we could do a lot of things with. To a company that's balance sheet has billions, it's a fraction of a percent of their revenue. And to get Jay-Z on their board, which they were going to grant him a share of stock regardless if he's joining the board, and then you get this group of other artists that are almost like joining the board via Jay-Z being their representative. They get this giant reach of artists to help them scale Square Cash and have a financial incentive to do it, provided that these artists, and from what I'm reading, I think these artists are retaining their share of Tidal. So they'll be still generating money from the growth of Square. And, everything I've read in these quotes from Jack Dorsey and the few other people from Square that I find really interesting is they're minimizing the value of audio. They're not disparaging it, but if you read the fine print, it doesn't feel like this is truly about audio.
And that's a real interesting take. And, when you say, $297 million, I mean, that's like pretty much a coffee stain on a balance sheet for these type of companies. And just to have Jay-Z on the board is worth the nearly $300 million, because now you have this ambassador that is leading the charge. And like you said, it was very interesting about Cash App, because if we look at things like, going back to PayPal, if you're talking generational, PayPal is, if you say it, it's like, hey, just PayPal me, you're going to get the okay boomer. And then it was the millennial, the Venmo me, and that was just basically a social media for sharing money with each other. And then Cash App came out of the blue, and like you said, a lot with the in hip hop culture and in music culture and everything. And you look at, even on Clubhouse, if you look at these profiles of people that are saying Cash App, it's still some Venmo, but it's like everything's just this Cash App. And Cash App was also blasting their way into Twitch and live streaming, and their marketing campaigns were targeting gaming, tech people, and musicians, and that's a great market for them. And now bringing in Jay-Z, so I look at this as, there's something more to this, because you're talking about, they were talking in some other articles about more exclusive, like they always talked about exclusive content, but now they're talking about like live streaming, and the fact that it's like, what can be built off of this. And I think it's still going to stay, it's not going to end up being this platform for every artist. Like you can just upload. It's still going to be more of an exclusive platform, but hopefully we'll have some better content and maybe more exclusive content and delve into that live streaming area.
I wonder whether they're going to do anything with Tidal, and if this is all just a play to bring in Jay-Z and his 18 brand ambassadors who now have equity in Square to help grow Square Cash and wherever other areas they want, because Square has been active in the entertainment space, as you said, with Square Cash, but also going out and sponsoring countless major festivals has been a huge play for them as well. This could have been a brand sponsor deal. I mean, a brand ambassador deal in a sense almost, and let Tidal run its course over 3 or 4 years and shutter it, and it still could be a win for Square.
Right on. Yeah, that's an interesting outlook, and I like that's part of the like I going back, it was like $297 to have Jay-Z on your board. That's nothing. That's you got that value back just in the press release that went across the wire that day. So it'll be interesting to follow up on this. All right, Randy, thank you for your insights. And so what this is, I'm just doing the news, so I keep things a little shorter as opposed to like the other rooms where we keep the conversation going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the next topic. If you can put yourself back in the audience, or if you want to hang out up here, but I'm going to go into the next topic. I'm going to hit about 4 topics today. And again, if anybody wants to chime in about a topic, just raise your hand and I'll bring you back up. So the next one, and I'm going to touch upon this one very quickly. This one is more that the Spotify listeners lose K-pop tunes from Kakao M after deal talks fail. So what was interesting about this, and it's about the fact that, Spotify just launched into, I think there's 73 other territories or something. So one of the things that they're talking about here in this article that was on Variety, it's basically, it was saying, I have all these performance cookies. Here we go. I'm going to pull this up here. There we go. This is a better version of the article. For some reason, it wasn't loading. So Spotify users worldwide will no longer have access to music tracks from K-pop acts representing Kakao M, an offshoot of Korean internet giant Kakao Corp. The global music streamer's deal with the label has expired and has not been renewed. Spotify, quote, Spotify can confirm that starting March 1st, 2021, Kakao M's catalog will no longer be available to our listeners worldwide due to the expiration of our license. We have been working with Kakao M over the last year and a half to renew the global licensing agreement, said Spotify in a statement forwarded to Variety. So you can find out more on this article on Variety.com. Quote, it is our hope that this disruption will be temporary and we can resolve the situation soon. Some of the roster includes IU and A-Pink, but the full number, they don't know the full number of artists and tracks lost to the Spotify. That has not been disclosed. So the failure to agree to a new license only affects Spotify users outside Korea, as Kakao M has not licensed its content for use on the company's new Korean service, which launched only last month. The Yonhap news agency reported that Kakao M as saying that the deal suspension was related to Spotify's policy under which it seeks worldwide content deals spanning local and international services. Both parties say they will keep talking. So they're saying that in February, the company described South Korea, Spotify described South Korea as only the 93rd market in which its service will become available. Yet, and this is saying that Spotify was a latecomer to the Korean music streaming market. The late entry into a market which has long been an internet pioneer. Korea's mobile broadband is widespread and among the world's fastest, meant Spotify was launching behind deeply entrenched incumbents. These include Kakao Corp's market-leading Melon with an estimated 8.81 million subscribers. Other established players include telecom operator KT Corp's Genie Music with 4.47 million, SK Telecom's Flow with 2.86 million. So, and Spotify said at the launch it was introducing 120 playlists exclusively for the South Korea market, including Hot Hits Korea, New Music Friday Korea, Korean Music Rising, and Fresh New Music Korea. So Spotify has some catching up to do, and there's some stats on Spotify. The service has 155 million subscribers, 345 million average monthly users to whom it currently offers more than 70 million tracks. Users have created 4.5 billion playlists. So, this in the final quote here, I'm just going to get into. And again, if anybody wants to talk about this, raise your hand, or if you have some comments, I see you over on the live stream in the video. Quote, since Spotify debuted its first K-pop playlist in 2014, the share of K-pop listening on the platform has increased by more than 2,000%, a company spokesperson says. Part of that has been curation efforts such as Spotify's globally available K-pop genre hub, which presents K-pop, hip-hop, indie, OST, and R&B, or Radar Korea, a playlist uncovering fresh K-music finds that is part of Spotify's Global Emerging Artist Program. So this is really interesting. I see somebody did raise their hand. Again, Devin, I just want to remind that this is being recorded, and we are live streaming now. So if you don't want to be recorded or live streamed, then don't come up to the stage. I just have to make that statement. It is a Clubhouse policy. So as we're doing this, Devin, welcome on up. And if there's anybody, let's see. I tried clicking. Let's try this again. We might be having a little glitch again. Yeah, all right. Let's see. Devin, I'm going to invite to speak. Let's say I think we have to do this one. You might have to click it yourself. All right. All right, Devin, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the newsread. You have to unmute yourself. Devin, you there? Oh, hold on a second. Sorry, hold on. That was my bad. Here we go. And let me go with... Sorry, I had the wrong button pressed. Now I can hear you. Devin, try it again. I'm unmuting.
This working?
Yeah, that was my bad. I'm over on the video side, and I had the wrong button pressed to pull up the audio so I could hear you. So welcome. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of running around, but I was listening, trying to gather all the information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what we do here is I'm starting a daily news read, so we pick up some topical items, breaking news, and also maybe some items we missed during the week or the last couple of weeks, some things that are running under the radar. And I just read from the news. And then I open it up to have a short conversation if somebody wants to throw in some opinions about it. And then we just move on. So I do about 3 to 4 articles. So do you have any thoughts on this Spotify and with Kakao and everything with the licensing in Korea and internationally?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I actually just put out a single today, and obviously I'm a super small artist, but in the interesting way where we all have the same technology, so it's kind of in a certain sense everyone's dealing with the same factors. So I think it's cool. I think it's interesting that people are controlling, and I'm not really into the K-pop thing, but as an artist, but I'd be curious to see what happens with their deals and the way that they're able to work it out. Because, I don't know the specific details, but I probably know that what they're arguing about, which is usually market share and money and the way that the apps are dividing up everything for the artists and labels and the whole thing, So it's definitely a topic I'm keeping my ears open for.
Yeah, it's really interesting because Spotify could use the leverage of saying we helped bring K-pop to the mass market, and when they use those, when you see those kind of numbers, when a company puts into the press release, beating their chest saying, look, these are 2,000% increase because we started this. So that they start saying, it's a little braggadocio saying we helped do this. Now you should bend to our rules so we can continue to help you. It's that Steve Jobs, iTunes saved the music industry kind of attitude. Randy, I think you were unmuting there. Did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, there's an interesting piece on this, which is that I think it's pronounced Kakao, but the label we're speaking about that hasn't licensed their music to Spotify in Korea also happens to own a major Korean streaming music platform. And what move would you make but stopping K-pop from being played on a competitor? So I think there's a really interesting underlying story here. Is it about royalties? Is it about negotiating an ownership stake for Kakao within Spotify? There could be a lot more than the typical negotiations we see because they're trying to protect their market share for their own streaming service as well.
Exactly. And, so does it come down to, is there like an exclusivity clause somewhere thrown into the mix? Is that what they're, and like you said, like royalties and who's giving out is it going to be like, it's like that most favored nations, or are they battling saying it's like, well, it has to be equal pay out because, things like that. I do see another hand raised. Let me see if this pulls up. Let me see. I might have to invite you. For some reason, it doesn't seem like. Let me pull up the invite to speak, and then you'll have to click it on your own. It's Mahmoud, I believe. Did I pronounce that right? Hey, Mahmoud.
Hi.
Hi. Did you have some thoughts on what's going on with Spotify and with the Korean market?
I really not understand.
Oh, we're talking about Spotify. Were you listening to what we were talking about there? All right, Mahmoud, we're gonna move on to the next topic anyway. So I'm gonna put you back down to the audience, and if there's something you want to add, then raise your hand and we'll come back up. So let's go over to this is going to be a kind of a quickie one here. It's from a little while ago, a few weeks back. It's just DistroKid. So not just DistroKid, but it's for my fellow streamers out there and musicians that are looking to get into streaming and Twitch. So it's from Music Ally. So anyone can join Twitch, but you can't start making decent money from it until you have affiliate status, which unlocks features like channel subscriptions, bits, and revenue sharing. DistroKid is the latest distributor to sign a partnership with Twitch to fast-track musicians to affiliate status, hopping over the stage where they have to stream for hours and hours to one woman and her dog before slowly building a big enough audience to qualify. DistroKid worked with Twitch to extend their affiliate qualifications to recognize the work that DistroKid members have put into creating music and building fans across music streaming services, explained the company. To end that this isn't the first example of such a partnership. SoundCloud and Bands in Town did it last month in the early days of the COVID-19 discussion. So what we have here is, so my thoughts on this is we're looking at Twitch, okay? And Twitch is just saying we're giving away affiliate status. And for affiliate status is, I believe it's something like 7 days or multiple hours, and you have to have 50 followers. And then you can unlock those tools. That's great. You can actually, because you're paying for SoundCloud Go or whatever, or SoundCloud Pro, and now with DistroKid, you can automatically become an affiliate. Well, guess what? When you become an affiliate on Twitch, you cannot multi-stream. So like right now, I am multi-streaming. I am on I think 7 different platforms right now, including Clubhouse. Hi, everybody in Clubhouse. And I'm restreaming on 7 different platforms. I can flip the button to become an affiliate. I can say, I'm going to be an affiliate, and I can start generating revenue from bits, donos, things like that, subscribers. I don't want to, because I want to be on multiple platforms. And the fact is, if you can access easily, what you're getting is your tips. You don't have followers, so you're still streaming to nobody, and therefore Twitch is going to be taking any money, and you're not getting it. Their license, their deal structure is not beneficial to the artist until you get to scale. So it's almost better to actually put in the grind and get those 50 followers that are going to tune into you, and then you flip on affiliate. You want to do it, you flip on affiliate status, and you can all of a sudden begin to now go to your fans. This way, you're just bypassing that hard work, and it doesn't bypass the hard work. What it does is just say, oh, I can have bits right off the bat. Well, you know what's a penny? What's 10 cents? It's if you have no fans on there. So if you have fans and they're following you, you become an affiliate right off. You become an affiliate in just a couple weeks. So I really don't like. I just think it devalues what the affiliate program is, and it's just so that Twitch can make more money on that, because what they pay you is very little. So it's like, if you don't make a certain cap, then you don't get the paycheck. And that's like, with the old PROs and stuff like that. Well, if you didn't make $100 this quarter, you don't get a check. So that's that's my thought on Twitch. If anybody has some thoughts on this, please raise your hand. I love Twitch. Don't get me wrong. I am a huge fan of Twitch. I want it to succeed. I want them to pay for it. I want them to get the proper licensing, and I want to get them to give better deal cuts to the content creators, performers, artists, and things like that. So if nobody has any comments on that one, I am going to raise your hand. Else I'm going to move over to the final topic. All right. All right. Yeah, so I did have to put in some news theme. This is going to be the last one, and this is this one was in 69 degrees .co.uk. It's music discovery app launches connecting artists with fans. So this is another brand new app. Let's file this under, does the world need another app to connect artists with their fans? So it's just another mousetrap? Well, let's look into this a little bit more. A free to join social media app created exclusively for up and coming musicians to connect with new fans and monetize audiovisual content will launch next month. And that's actually this month. Pfoma. It's Pfoma. Pefoma. See, I don't like the name because it's kind of weird to say. It doesn't flow like a performer. It's Pfoma. It is a one-stop shop for unsigned acts to gain exposure to fans looking to discover new music. Riding the wave of demand seen during the pandemic for online music performances, the app creates a virtual home for artists of all genres to interact with fans wanting to be the first to hear new music. Artists can upload music videos and monetize live stream performances to music lovers all on a single platform without the need for third-party payment or booking integration. Pfoma is also the only known platform where artists earn all revenue generated from their profile, with no fees or cut of revenue taken when using the app. Fans will have access to exclusive content not available outside the app, while live stream performances include a comment feature where they can say hello, make song requests, and chat with other viewers, instantly reacting to what's happening on screen. So as I'm going through this, it just sounds like, to me, I'm listening to all those words that I'm reading on the screen, and it's like, how is this different than any other app? I haven't heard a USP, the unique selling proposition, on this. I actually downloaded the app and played with it, and it's just basically it's really basic, and it's just like, here's an artist and and you're in a feed. You are literally like in an Instagram feed, news feed, like any other social feed, and it's click. My question is this something that we asked for, audience asked for, looking to discover new music? How many times have we heard that? This is a one of a kind. How many times have we heard that? They talk about including a comment feature. Well, if you don't have a comment feature, are you a social app? That's really what the part of the social is the engagement. So if anybody has any thoughts about apps, if anybody's used this, please let me know. I'm not like, I'm on the fence always about any of these kind of new apps. I've just seen so many of these come and go, and you want to have success. You want companies to succeed, and you want to have companies that are helping the artist to succeed. But is this just another play of something that's just, are they trying to build a better mousetrap when we don't need a better mousetrap? We just need a mousetrap that pays more. Jeff, how you doing? Welcome on up. I'm going to bring you over here. How you doing?
Hey there, Peter. This is Jeff from Las Vegas. Thanks for bringing me up. I felt compelled to raise my hand, which I rarely do. But
well, that's a good thing.
Well, thanks, man. To your point, yeah, there seems to be these new apps springing up almost daily. Music discovery and all that. And as much as I am a voracious music listener and consumer, at the end of the day, most people kind of just go to the same places that they're used to finding music. I mean, they'll go to their Spotify's, they'll go to their usual social media channels. At the end of the day, it's just about wherever you put your music, you still have to drive traffic to that platform. So, I mean, I've always been of the opinion that if you're going to do anything, whether that's streaming, selling your own music, building a fan base, you want to drive them to a piece of real estate that you actually own, namely, aka your own website. You know, that's why I still very much believe in, you know, building your own list, you know, driving people to, you know, I come from the digital marketing world as well as the music world. So, you know, driving people to a capture page, you know, getting emails, building the list, or, you know, setting up a chatbot on your, you know, go where the people are. And if you're going to move them off of the platforms they're familiar with, move them to a platform that you own, because the chances of somebody finding you in a sea of other artists and musicians on any number of these, you know, live streaming apps or music apps, and it's pretty small, as well intentioned as they are, because everybody wants to see, you know, the music industry be democratized a little more in favor of the artist. So the intentions are good, but for the most part, the traffic isn't there. Case in point, SoundCloud is fairly well known too. I mean, SoundCloud probably has more traffic going to them than most any of these streaming platforms, and yet you're still one in a sea of of all of these other artists. So I think if you're going to make a promotional push, it's always best to drive people to a piece of real estate that you own. Again, namely your own website. Build your list and control that data as much as you possibly can, because then you control the conversation, you control the monetization of all of that, you can build your own offerings out of there, and, you know, 9 times out of 10, you can probably just stream directly to your site, as well as syndicate on the other platforms too. And again, drive them back to your own spot. Anyway, I'm Jeff from Las Vegas, and I am done speaking. Thanks again for having me up, Peter.
Jeff, hang out. Jeff, hang out. Thank you so much for all of that. But I want to reiterate a few, like a couple points there that I absolutely love is, you know, the fact that it's another platform, you have to drive traffic there. And the whole thing is, you know, talk about, you know, what is your real estate? It's like, you know, they say don't build your house on sand, but definitely don't build your house on somebody else's sand. You know, these are rented audiences. When you sign up for a platform and you develop an audience there, Instagram, what happens if Instagram shuts down? How do you get all those people from Instagram to another platform? Because there will be a better platform. There will be the better mousetrap at some point. And that's why, you know, I don't want to knock these companies or anything like that. I'm skeptical about some things, but I don't want to knock anybody that's trying and innovating and creating, because we need a new Facebook. We need something different. We need something that's going to, you know, continue pushing forward and helping the artists and with monetization. The thing, like you said, is the fact that, well, if I'm going to this platform, you know, and I live stream, well, I have to now spend more time on a new platform to develop that audience. So like I mentioned Twitch earlier, and you become an affiliate, you know, just by having DistroKid or SoundCloud, you know, you're still not developing fans, and Twitch is damn hard to develop a fan base. You have to grind on Twitch, but it's not even about the grind. It's about doing it smart. People don't even look at, like, you know, artists that, like, they're looking at all these other platforms, so they don't realize what's in front of them sometimes. And many artists are like saying, oh, I want to stream on YouTube, I want to stream on Twitch, I want to stream on Facebook, I want to put on a concert. Stop saying it's a concert. It's a live stream. It's an engagement. But the thing is, they have music videos up. They have music videos up on YouTube, and they have followers. They have subscribers on YouTube. You can stream. You can live stream on YouTube. You can go and live stream on YouTube, and they have an ecosystem that you can have subscribers, and your fans are already there. So why not maybe just focus on what's there on YouTube, drive them and say, so now instead of saying, I'm on Twitch, I'm trying to develop a fan base here, I'm trying to do this, you already have some fans that have followed your videos and liked your videos, commented. Stay there. You can live stream. YouTube also has a better payment structure than Twitch. And then say, I'm going to focus on YouTube, but here's my email, you know, here's my website. Keep directing them to my website, because when the new hot platform comes along, I can email you and say, check me out on the new Acme Inc. platform for artist discovery.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more, man. I mean, look, I always tell people, look at what happened to all the artists that built huge followings on MySpace.
Yeah.
So but you're absolutely right. You don't want to build your house on on rented land. So
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you.
Unless
I'd throw one.
go on, Randy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd throw one other thing out there. When we see all these new artist discovery platforms come out, which is fairly often, or we're pitched them, and I found one thing to be true across the board. I think 100% of the time is that not one platform that has been designed to get artists discovered and break artists and help fans discover artists has been successful on any scale. What has been successful are platforms that are developed to provide a service for an artist. Like look at like a Bands in Town, which helped successful artists or developing artists have their tour dates discovered. Or, we're going back years ago, but like Bandpage, which helped you put music on your Facebook page, which then helped you be discovered within Facebook. I can't name one platform going as large as like Reverb Nation, who I like the guys who run it, great platform, millions of artists on it. I don't think any fan goes there on scale to discover artists, or artists have been discovered because they were there. So just another thought on all that.
Yeah, Randy, I mean, and you hit the nail on so many of like the good platforms that aren't even around anymore. I mean, Bandpage was great, and Bandpage was one of the first companies that started aligning with like the likes of Google and Facebook and the other platforms, so you could centralize your information and be able to push those platforms through APIs. And I mean, that's a challenge in itself, because Facebook can change their API, the calls at a blink of an eye, and it makes it more difficult. So there's a challenge there, and Reverb Nation, and going to Reverb Nation. And when Reverb Nation, I was managing this artist at the time of probably, I would say, Reverb Nation's peak, and I had a great relationship with Reverb, and we got the artists. We did an interview at South by. They did an interview with me as a manager, and then they did an interview, a separate interview, an article and feature on the band, and it was sent out in their email to their millions and millions of followers and subscribers, and we had no pickup. We literally, I swear it was less than 5% pickup, or maybe 1%. It was not, it was just, nothing happened. And you're talking about like, what was the user base for Reverb Nation? It was all artists. So it was artists following artists. Yeah, but it was also artists, like the people that were subscribed to Reverb Nation was like artists following artists. So when their newsletters went out or their blog posts, it was just going to artists, and artists don't have time to read about other artists. Reverb, I love the platform for what it was. I think it just didn't, and I don't like using the word pivot. I just don't think it adapted to the times. And, but Bands in Town, I think, I also, I want to give a shout out to, Julian and Fabrice, like what they did during this pandemic with Bands in Town. I got to give them props. That was, what they did to help out the artists the best they can and everything. So, I'm really proud of what those guys did.
Well, I'd throw in there, they also, it's what they did for themselves, and not in a righteous way, but like they pivoted their business, which is what you just talked about with Reverb. Is Bands in Town's business was promoting tour dates. Suddenly they couldn't do that. They support a lot of employees off of that, as well as support the touring ecosystem. So they help their employees, their business, as well as the artists, which is important to think about, because a successful business has to work for the business and the users as well.
Exactly. And it's that, we have to take care of ourselves, because if we can't take care of ourselves, I can't take care of myself as an owner, then I can't take care of an employee. I can't take care of staff. I can't take care of my user base. I can't take care of, the artists that I've said, well, this platform is going to help you. So, I really was happy when I saw that. That was one of the nicer things that I saw come out of, with the music industry and any kind of tech platform. So, anybody else wanted to jump on any topics here? We covered Tidal, and Square. We discussed Spotify with, shutting out the Cake Pop. with Cacao, and we also discussed DistroKid and Twitch with the affiliate program, and we were just talking about this new app, this artist discovery app, which Pafoma, I mean, I just don't like the name. It doesn't, I can't say it right. It has a weird, my mouth has to do weird things, which my mouth does do weird things just on its own. So I already have enough problems speaking as it is. But if there's anything else, if there are some other topics for anybody in the audience you want to chime in about, we keep this going for a little while. I am going to be doing this every day. I'm going to start this up every day. It's kind of like just a little news read. I'll be pulling up topical items from the news and also maybe some articles we might have missed over the prior couple weeks, and just to keep that discussion going and allow everybody to have that their thoughts, their opinions, have a little platform for discussion. And I'll probably do this every day on Clubhouse. I also live stream this on Music Industry City. That's the platform. musicindustrycity.com is the website. You can register for free. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook. I also do it through New Music Seminar's Facebook page too. So if there are any of my old New Music Seminar people are out there, you can also check it out there. And my personal Twitch at Peter Schwing. You can also go to peterschwing.com too. So there's stuff there. But if anybody else, I see some people in the audience. Hey, Stuart, Andrew, Ari, Vaughn, Mike. If there's something you want to add, just raise your hand, and we're going to start wrapping up shortly. So. For the people on stage, is there anything else that you would like to add into the conversation for anybody on stage?
Well, just very quickly, talking about the live streaming topic again, keeping in mind that you can syndicate from a Zoom to Facebook, YouTube. So, again, there's a new streaming app that just came out that somebody hit me to here on Clubhouse called Trubify, which looks cool. I mean, it looks great, but again, I can stream from Zoom and syndicate to wherever to platforms that people are actually on, and set a tip link or whatever I wanted to do, or drive people back to my capture page. So again, to your point, don't build your house on rented land.
Right, exactly. Yeah, just you can, and the thing with Zoom is also as well, if you're creating a Zoom, you can have people sign up. So you can ask people to register for to tune into Zoom. You're collecting their email address. You can ask them, you can have them opt into your newsletter. So you actually can create an event on Zoom and capture more information. And if somebody shares it, so if you're just seeing an email out to your fan base that says, "Hey, I'm doing a free Zoom this Friday at 2:00, and you have 1,000 emails that it's going out. So let's talk about open rates first. Your open rate's going to be maybe 20 to 30%. Your click-through rate's going to be about 5% if you're lucky. And then how many people are going to show up? If you just send a reminder. If you send a link and say you have to RSVP, that means you're going to have more of a dedicated attendance, more likely that people sign up. And we're still talking free. I mean, we're not talking about the pain point of actually paying for something. But if you have that link and it's like somebody says to their friend, if they tell two friends hey, you want to check out this artist, here's the link to sign up. The artist just did no work except send out an email. Well, I mean, they did work, but they sent out an email and then it was passed along and somebody else signed up, and then they were like, hey, sure, I'll sign up for this email address. And it's not like just somebody tuning in on Instagram when you do a live stream on Instagram and somebody might just hit the follow button, but they're also following 5,000 other platforms and people. So yeah, Vaughn, hey, what's up? Welcome, good to see you again.
How are you, Peter? Sorry, I came into this discussion late, and so I don't want to rehash subject matter that you guys have already chewed on for a while. But I was just curious, maybe shortly, what people's reaction is to Jack Dorsey getting involved in Tidal. I mean, it seems like a very interesting strategic position to take, particularly given how many of us are how should I put it, have our qualms with Spotify. Maybe if you guys already discussed this, just a quick summation of reactions.
Certainly, Vaughn. So I'll give you a little summary of where we're going. I know Randy had some great points that he can also just maybe reiterate. We're talking about the play of a $297 million investment. and Jay-Z becomes part of the board is like that's it had the $297 is nothing. I was referring to like a coffee stain on a balance sheet for a company such as Square, and they're getting more value by having they got their 297 million in value plus by just having Jay-Z on the board because he's now an ambassador for the brand. And that thing, Cash App, what they've done with Cash App is, they've tackled, they've really focused their marketing into the live streamers, creatives, and music industry. So there's already that play there. And now you have Jay-Z as an ambassador. And, I think I can probably pass this off to Randy because Randy was talking about and his partners and his team in there. So, Randy, do you want to just maybe just rehash just a couple 2 points or something that you brought up?
Yeah, sure. The thing that I found interesting is in all the PR about this from the people, especially on the Square side of things, and the guy who's going to step in as the new Square CEO, they talked about how they're thinking beyond audio. And there's just been a few different quotes that minimized audio. And I think this could be a play to grow the Square cash base and use, they've used hip-hop artists to give away Square Cash on their Twitter accounts to just build a frenzy to get people to sign up for Square Cash. Bringing in Jay-Z and now his, I believe, 18 artist partners who are essentially Jay-Z joining the board and then these 18 kind of, I don't know, what do you call them, brand ambassadors who all own equity in Square now. It's an interesting play where this could simply be a deal for brand ambassadors, and they could sunset the Tidal platform in a couple of years if it doesn't take off, and still have won significantly in this deal.
Right. So this almost feels like it's more a push or like a publicity push for Square than necessarily using Tidal to sort of optimize for the music industry. It's more just in Square's interest. Is it like a direct to fan kind of thing, or how are you thinking about it?
There's other areas that Square has been active in the music space too. They spend a lot of money sponsoring festivals to get those Square readers in to be used to process all the credit cards. But what they haven't done is innovated products to do that. And I don't know where Tidal's technology does that. If they had acquired a company like @Venue, I'd be like, oh, okay, this is a platform that processes credit cards, manages inventory, and is the POS system for all live events. That would tell me that they were looking to make a play to create new products for artists. Buying a streaming platform doesn't tell me that, and then their PR on top of it, not talking about audio, is just very surprising to me, and I can't quite get a grasp on it other than for brand ambassadors, which, to bring in any of those 18 people as a brand ambassador is an 8-figure deal. And now you're putting one of them on the board. You put Jay-Z on the board. I don't know how many shares are granted to people when they join the board of a company like Square, but I would have to assume it's in the millions, if not the tens of millions of dollars that he's getting in Square stock. So when you start going through all those things, they haven't spent nearly as much as you think. And like you said, it almost becomes a PR move, but a very successful PR move.
Yeah, and on top of that, there's one other area, and I mentioned earlier, Andrew Hamp, and I just wanted to pull up his tweet. He's like, today's Tidal news, this is from yesterday, means that the 15 artists plus Jay-Z who were gifted equity in 2015 just got a nice chunk of that $297 million. As I reported at launch, each act got 3% equity. So that equates to 8.91 million cash out, and they had the full, Billboard put it up with the full list of partners. I mean, now you also have to remember there was a $200 million investment also just a couple years ago as well, and so does that include dilution? And I don't know if Andrew took that into account, but so you're looking at if they had 3%, but now what is going to be the value? So is this also now they're just saying, let's just play with the valuation game? What is Tidal now valued at? And and again, is it just going to be a music streaming service play, or is it going to be something that incorporates more of an entertainment value and like an entertainment platform in one way or another, with exclusive, with branding, with different products?
Yeah, it seems like, that from Square's perspective, like having the platform that's like third or fourth in terms of popularity, with obvious that, the brand ambassadorship, like that part of it makes sense. But I'm sort of like trying to wrap my head around like what the real opportunity is, given the fact that from a business perspective, obviously, I would assume that it's probably a steal for Square in a sense, but I just wonder how it plays into their general business. It seems a little unclear to me. But
if they can, I'm thinking maybe if they can take like the platform and say, well, they're the exclusive authorization. I think they're just going to incorporate that. They don't have to use a third party system. They're going to build in the system right into Tidal in one way or another. I want to just give a quick shout out to everybody. I see some names. I see Lindsay, Jessica, Emily, Dimitri, Ricardo, a few others out there. I don't know. I gave you some shouts. If there's we're going to be doing this every 5 days a week, and if there's any topics, we're going to be posting the topics, and I read from the news, and then if there, we just bring some people on and you want to talk about it and continue the conversation. So again, if there's anybody that wants to talk about the Tidal, Spotify, DistroKid, live streaming, Twitch, or some apps and technology, just raise your hand and join in the conversation. I'm going to also keep this room to respect everybody's time for an hour each time. So it'll be 12. Right now I'm looking at 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern. If you have other suggestions for times, please let me know. You can slide into my DMs. I'm just starting this out. I've been doing live streaming. We're on different platforms right now. So there is actually a video stream, Music Industry City. If you sign up at musicindustrycity.com, you'll get a weekly email when we're doing that, and I have a lot of guests. So we're doing Clubhouse, we're doing everything here. So again, thank you all for tuning in and hanging out. And if you have any thoughts, please, raise your hand and jump onto the screen. And so let's pick up Vaughn. I know Vaughn has some great points there, and it's that question. So Jeff, looking at maybe looking at what you were talking about from a technology standpoint and everything, and a marketing standpoint, how would you just perceive this? Almost kind of like a little outsider view.
You mean just the proliferation of all of these continuing apps? And
well, it's more like, if you were to look at, say, here, I want to take a complete different view of saying, here you are looking at, you're looking at the news and you're like, well, here is a music streaming platform, and here is a financial company that has banking services in a sense, and transactional services. What do you see? Why would they come together? What is the benefit for them to merge?
Well, that's kind of a hard question.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a little esoteric. That's what we're just trying to throw it out there.
Yeah, I would assume everybody would have their own interests in a venture deal like that. But at the end of the day, if you're talking about just serving the needs of the artists, I'm still very much I still very much promote the independent way of thinking. Again, why drive some? Again, if driving somebody to your website and getting to stream your music on your own website, okay, that might be a hard sell. But essentially the traffic is already in these larger platforms, so use them yourself in conjunction, but again, just try to get them off into your own world. And as far as the mergers and acquisitions of all these big companies, as far as I'm concerned, let them do what they're going to do. Find your own angle and see how you can benefit from it. But ultimately, it comes down to traffic and attention. And if you can monetize that traffic and build up enough of a following to make monetizing that traffic worth your time and effort. Unless you're just doing it for the love of it, of course.
Right on. Yeah. So Jeff,
I don't have anything more.
No, that's great. Well, that actually is great advice that goes into like the artist side, and the from the user standpoint. So and that's why I like to cover. It's like why are things like this important to the business, and why are these topics important for the artists to also be paying attention to? So while this might not be a high priority ticket for an artist to be paying attention to, it's like you do want to kind of just watch what's going on. Just be aware. Randy, I guess we'll start wrapping up, but maybe some final thoughts. I mean, Devin, did you have any thoughts on this as we wrap up?
Yeah, actually,
on any of the topics.
Really appreciate. I don't know if you can hear me. I really appreciate what you just said, because it's kind of perfect for me, where I do have this type of thinking where with Jeff talking about the being super independent, that's kind of been my thing for, I don't know, since 2012, just kind of owning all my music and slowly building. So I really appreciate the driving the traffic, and I've got the MailChimp thing with 10,000 emails, and I'm always sussing out, okay, like how many times do I really want to bother everybody with my, improvised music things or whatever. But, and then to pivot to the Jay-Z thing, it's kind of like Tidal. I think those dudes are probably thinking about a combination with Square that we're not thinking about. And that sounds kind of stupid and simple, but I mean, like, they're thinking of some like hand-to-hand movement thing that we're kind of bypassing, where it's like Squarespace. I mean, we all know Squarespace or Square, whatever they're called, for a long time. So I don't know. I think there's probably some really creative idea in there that they're gonna figure out how to leverage, which is kind of cool. I don't know what yet, but so anyway, for me, with my music and everything, it's just I like kind of poking my head out into these things and keep trying to be creative in different ways outside of just the music that I'm making as an artist. So I really appreciate everything here, and maybe somebody else has got something else to add. So thanks, Peter.
Right on. And as Squarespace, as being a website development platform, maybe they should buy Squarespace, and therefore the artist, so we can tie this all together, the artist can build their website and collect all the data and their emails, and they can have their own website, and they can embed Tidal. So say if you want to listen to my music, here's my Tidal embedded. And if you want to, for my merch and everything for my transactions, you use Square and Cash App. So I think we just solved it. I think we just figured out what the major play is. Now next week, they're going to buy Squarespace. So,
I do have one thought on it, though. That Jeff or Devin, I think it was Devin who just said this. There is another play they could be going for. They're ultimately a commerce company. I've seen merchandise mentioned here or there in some of their comments, and more direct to consumer. The target could be something that none of us are thinking about where they're going, and they could be going after Shopify. And this could be a play to try to use those 18 artist relationships that now have equity in Square, as well as the Tidal relationships, to build a Shopify competitor. Because that's ultimately what they're really about, is transactions and technology. So that would be a logical move to see Square try to do. So
that makes sense.
Final thoughts for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of where I was thinking as well, but just was curious what the group think on it was.
Right on. I really like that. And I think this is a great way to close out. This is kind of like the first one I've done. I did a test one the other day, but this is the first one we got really interactive and engaged. And just wanted to, what's your feedback? I would love your feedback. Is this something like you'd be interested if I did this every day at noon to 1? I just pull up some articles and I read. Actually, I'm reading the news to you, so you can kind of kick back and have your coffee, your afternoon or morning coffee. I read the news and then we have a little discussion on it. Do you think this is like a good format? Do you think this is something that the timing is good? If I do it at noon Eastern, so if you have something, just let me know, and or just hit me up, slide into my DMs. And I also live stream this, so I have people chatting away over here, talking about other stuff while I'm doing this live stream on Facebook and on Music Industry City on YouTube and my personal Twitch. So I kind of bring everything together. It's all centralized. So
I like it, Peter. I'm sorry I was late today.
It's hey, I didn't give advance warning. I just but I think I'll just gonna start creating the events, and then I'll update them as I in the morning, like when I come up with the topic. And you more than welcome. And Vaughn, you always provide. I've been in so many rooms with you. You always provide such valuable insight. And it's a great conversation. And same with Randy and Jeff and Devin. All of you had like some great insight. So thank you all so much. And I think that's going to do it for today. And I'm just going to play out the theme. Thank you all. I'm going to play out the theme, and I am going to end the room after it. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.